Hanna, I know Allison had a question that you were interested in as well.
Yes, Allison said, I am currently in a quote-unquote friends with benefits kind of relationship. The sex I have is amazing, and I have mind-blowing orgasms. Good for you, Allison. I have had sexual trauma in the past and get triggered by nightmares, intruding thoughts, etc. Once I'm triggered, my sex drive disappears, and I have trouble getting it back. I'm wondering what I can do to get myself back into the mood and what my partner can do to help.
Go
ahead. Therapy.
Yes. Oh yeah. Apart from the very apt call to, get thee to a therapist. I think another thing would be to be gentle with yourself and honest with your partner. Right. It can be kind of weird to be in that friends with benefits space because it is, there's the friendship aspect, which hopefully is strong enough by itself. But there's also that I've been in that space where it's like, you don't necessarily want to know like my entire sexual history. Like we're not at that level emotionally. But, this is something that is pressing and something that we need to talk about. So how do I bring this up? And I'd say lean on that friends part with this person, right? If you cannot talk with them about this, then they're not someone that you should be friends with or, putting yourself in this vulnerable position with. So if you can trust them enough to have sex with them, then you can hopefully trust them enough to be able to communicate about having sex. And so I'd say lean on that friends piece, right? Say, hey, I know that we have sex. I love it. It's amazing. Like I literally gush about it to other people. I also have this one thing that I want to make sure that you know, so that if I'm ever not in the mood, you understand why. And it's not about you, right? It's not, you didn't do anything. This is something that comes with the territory, right? This is who I am. And, just making sure that they know that it's not them and that you guys are fine. And then maybe, put them in that position to be able to help you if they want to, right? If they want to be supportive and they want to go beyond just letting you have your space and actually enter into that place with you and help you, it would be very helpful for them to know kind of what's going on. So as far as getting yourself back into the mood, I would say I'm a little bit concerned about the phrasing of that, just because it feels like you might be putting pressure on yourself, or your partner may be putting pressure on you to like get over it and get back to having the sex. And I don't think that's necessarily what we want to focus on here, right? What we want to focus on is, what makes you feel better and at what pace, right? This isn't something you need to get over and get back to, what your partner wants. This is something that where if you need to say, hey, for a week, I need to go and do something else, I'm sorry, then them's the breaks. That's what happens. And your partner has to be okay with that. So I'd say there are certainly techniques that I'm sure exist. I cannot speak to them as I am not a sex therapist. So another reason to get to therapy, to, calm down that triggered mindset, to get back into the mood. But as somebody who does have triggers and who isn't always in the mood, I'd say communicate, tell your partner where you're at, and then do what you need to do to feel better. And if that's not have sex for a week, then it's not have sex for a week. And that's just that.
Yeah, I fully agree with all of that. I feel like there shouldn't be any priority on getting back in the mood. It should be getting back to a stable mindset. Like, of course, mind-blowing orgasms would probably help, but if that is not available because you are not in the headspace for sex, I mean, your priority should just be able to get back to being good. And I have not had to deal in my life with sexual triggers, but I have friends that have triggers that I have done my best to support. And I have been in a situation where I needed somebody to support me. And the best thing that I have personally found for that is just asking that person, What can I do to support you right now? Do you want to be comforted? Do you just need to vent? Do you want to forget about this and be distracted? Do you want to just have some comfort food? Do you want to watch your favorite show? Like, and the way that maybe you can support your friend doing that is trying to think of, when you're not in that headspace, what is stuff that brings me instant relief, instant comfort, instant calm, instant peace, instant joy, and just make like a list or something as a quick reference of, okay, this is something that might help me get back into my happy place when I'm not in that place. Or just figure out what you want for yourself at that time and advocate, if you can. Advocate at the time, what I need right now is to be distracted, what I need right now is comfort, whatever it is. Try to do your best to make that clear ahead of time if you can, or at the time if you can.
Mhm.
And of course, have this conversation with your friend when the trigger is not happening. Make it clear that this is something that you are thinking about, and something that you're concerned about, and something that you may need their platonic support with.
Mhm.
That is so important in this, is just communicating that you need this support from your partner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
What V was saying about the priority being just getting back into the right headspace as opposed to getting back into the mood. I understand how frustrating it can be. And sometimes you're just like, oh my gosh, I want to get back and get off so badly. It's definitely not the priority in that moment. When you're triggered, you need to get through it and feel it and not fight it. Not necessarily, full blown put yourself in a panic attack, but just be mindful of what's going on with you and not trying to push past it. That can make it so much worse. And if you're in a place where you can get therapy, absolutely. It's really hard to give advice on how you can get back in the mood when I don't know what your triggers are and what you're comfortable with. I mean, definitely putting the brakes on as soon as you start to feel that way, and communicating to your partner. Hopefully they're the type of partner who's going to listen. And I think patience is probably the most important thing they can give you.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I think, Hanna, you hit on something really important, which is trying to get back in the mood and pushing yourself in that way can just make it worse. And you want to make sure that you're only ever doing things that help you, never at the expense of your own mental health. Also, I just want to make sure that we're clear here. Like, I understand it can make it a little bit more complicated if it's a friends with benefits type of relationship, but honestly, this is a ground rule for anybody who gets to be in your life. Like, regardless of the relationship type, if they can't handle the fact that you have these particular needs and you function in this way and not respect that, then they don't deserve to be in your life. And so I understand there might be a little bit of nuance in how you communicate this to somebody who has agreed to having sex with you, but maybe not the relationship element. But this is just something that your friend should know as a friend if they're going to be put in a situation where they're going to be interacting with you in this space. And they should be able and willing and ready to accommodate that.